He's always a bridesmaid and never a bride. Hey everyone, it's the Ride or Die Homies, aka the Mayhem Mercenaries. I'm Ashley, Ashby's Killer, live with your boy, the mercenary for hire, Rodney. We're here to give you our instant reaction to tonight's episode of the challenge, episode 16, the must-win era. Alright, so we gotta start with the Fire Plunge challenge. It was sponsored by Burger King, and not to be corny, but we gotta have it our way. But there's no fast food here. Tonight it was hot wiring cars, flying off cliffs, hanging in mid-air, and then swimming. So let's break this down a little bit more. So we start off in a vehicle and you have to solve a puzzle. But this puzzle's not really like a puzzle. It's like a plug and play. You have 12 plugs and there were 8 faulty ones. And you had to find 4 that will light up your car to start it off right off a cliff and then jump out. And then you plunge into the water. And then you have to do a 500-meter swim. Jordan kicks things off. And right away I'm thinking, is there anything this guy can't do? He flies through the puzzle. He takes a dive off that 300-foot cliff. And then, of course, he nails the swim. He's unbelievable. He's an adrenaline junkie, so I know he was hype. Is Jordan an unstoppable force, or do you think someone else has an opportunity to overtake him?
Well, right now, yeah, he's the guy to beat. You know, as well as Kylan's been doing after seeing Jordan's performance today, even just on the sheer fact alone that he went first and still came out victorious, that says a lot moving forward. So until we figure out, you know, what's going to happen with karma points and everything else that entails the final, no, he's going to be the man.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. Like, karma points have to, like, seriously hinder him. I mean, it's like when you play Mario Party and you give the new players or, like, kids, you give them a handicap. Like, they're going to need that to beat him because he's unstoppable. Going back into the challenge, we know that Tori, Rachel, Michelle, they did really great in this, but Corey, man, this got the best of him. I mean, Corey was doing them one by one, and by the time he hit the water, it was game over. He did have a really good swim, and speaking of swim, we finally learned Kylan's kryptonite. It's swimming. He was in there like looking like crazy, and his hair was all poofy. It was cute. I loved it. But Michelle, she was chilling with Michael Phelps because she's like so confident in swimming, and she's like, anybody want to see me in the water? Because I got you. I'm the best swimmer in the house. And then we saw Cara Maria and Derek. I mean, it was pretty brutal. We had the cast like dogging them on the sidelines. They said something about like a doggy paddle in slow motion, and it was pretty bad. If there is a swimming challenge in the final, will weaker swimmers be at a disadvantage?
Yes and no. You know, yes, because, you know, swimming can make or break you a lot of times, because we've seen a lot of epic finals where swimming has really taken its toll on the people who just aren't well equipped to handle the water. But also, you know, it depends on, in my opinion, I think it depends on which leg of the final the swimming is going to be incorporated in. You know, the earlier the better, right? If you got to swim early in the first portion of the final, then perhaps you could make it up later. But if they save the swimming towards the end, you know, it could be a detrimental leg of the final where weaker swimmers just won't be able to keep up. So we'll see.
Yeah, I agree. It all depends like where it is. Because I think like if you do it in the beginning, towards the end, you're like, all right, yo, I already know I got to pick it up. Like, let's go. But at the end, it's like, oh, man, there's no time. Like, you can't make it up. You just got to go. You know, something that's really stood out for me in this episode, Johnny made like a really excellent point. He said it was incredibly difficult to gauge how well the competitors were doing. And that was from his perspective, but the perspective of us as viewers and super fans, we're sitting here like watching it and it's like, is this person ahead? Are they behind? And we literally have no clue. We're in the dark and I'm dying for some like breakdown or some real stats. Like, it doesn't have to be ESPN, but I'm feeling like I need some sort of numbers. Were you feeling the same way?
Yeah, absolutely. And especially after Michelle made that comment where she was saying she's the best swimmer, that she could beat any of the girls here in the water, but yet she didn't even win, right? So then Rachel, on the other hand, was very disappointed when she felt that she won the challenge as well, right? So then Tori ends up winning. And so now I'm thinking, all right, well, you have three great swimmers here, right? So who's really the best swimmer amongst the females? And we have no way to actually prove that because this challenge didn't really give us any type of metrics to go by. We got no time or no markers, nothing. It was just kind of wait and see, right?
Even if they don't reveal like who the winner is, I'm okay with that. Or like maybe like the last person who goes or whatever it may be. But give us something. Give us something. Also, you did mention about like Rachel, how she was like a little salty that she didn't win. You know, she threw a little shade, a little dig at Tori winning. So let's just review. Jordan takes the crown for the men, and Tori also wins for the women. Cara and Derek are the losers of this. And since Jordan wins and Derek and Corey are targets, they're going straight into elimination. So speaking of elimination, do you want to walk us through it?
Sure. So this elimination was called closing time, right? And so it looked like a huge arena almost, right? It was open and there were two guillotines on each side and they were attached to a huge wheel, right? And you had to crank the wheel to raise the guillotine. Then you could run under it before it drops back down. And then there were these large painted cinder blocks, right? And you had to transfer the cinder blocks from one side of the guillotine to the other and then onto a slab. And then the cinder blocks formed a puzzle, right, that had to be stacked in order to form two images. So the only caveat was you couldn't use the sand for your pieces until all of them were carried over onto the slab. Then you could rearrange them.
Yeah, like it was actually a really cool challenge. Even when like the guillotine, when it fell down, I was like, hey, like I was like getting kind of scared or nervous. With Corey and Derek, you could really feel the tension. And did you want to talk about like anybody's strategies?
Well, in this case, Corey really was just a workhorse, right? That's what he said. So his strategy was to just bring the blocks over to the slab as quick as possible and then solve the puzzle. Where Derek's idea was, well, I'm not going to match Corey with his strength, right? So I'm going to take the puzzle pieces I can see belong to each other, rearrange those, and then bring them over to the slab already completed. So then it was less work to solve the puzzle.
Yeah, at first I was like, I wonder who's going to win this, because it was like really like brains versus brawn. And which we've been seeing a lot in these eliminations. But I don't know, like Derek pulled it off. Like he was very sneaky like about it. Remember, he was like hiding his first round of the puzzle and he hid it away from Corey. And I think we've just been getting to know Derek a lot more since his comeback to All Stars. And it's been nice to see that he's like really good at puzzles and, you know, he's coming through when he needs to. He shows up. And I've been hearing around on the Challenge T and like through the cast members that he like practices running. So he's really good at that. So it's nice to see that he's like being a dark horse. And Corey, I mean, he just looks so strong holding all those cinder blocks and bringing them out. But I mean, overall, like that strategy that Derek had was really smart, and it ended up taking the win. Speaking of the win, it was nice to see him win and dedicate that to his sister. Going back to the elimination, did you think like Corey was gonna pull this off, or did you know Derek had it from the start? Right at the beginning.
Man, I thought Corey had that win for sure. You couldn't really tell the way with the editing. This time, I can give credit to editing. They did a good job in doing that, creating tension, because even when you watched it, right, Corey was getting a lot of praise for lifting 4 cinder blocks in one time, just bringing them over. Everyone was saying how well he did. Even Carl Maria pointed out the people he'd beaten the challenges prior to this one. And so you really felt that. And then once Derek revealed his strategy, that was really the game changer. And it wasn't actually until Bananas pointed it out when he said, hey, he's building the puzzle as he brings him along, and then he's hiding it from Corey so he can't copy. When I was like, wow, man, after he said that, I was like, yeah, it's pretty much over.
Yeah. Poor Corey. He's always a bridesmaid and never a bride. It's tough, man. You gotta feel for him.
Yeah,
I
man.
really, yeah, I really wanted him to take it this season. I really wanted to see him get that gold. And Corey has this history of being so close and just never getting that win. Do you think that this is it for him, or does he have a shot next season?
I mean, I gotta be honest, and I don't know if maybe it's just because this is just the challenge 40, but it just, when that challenge ended, I just felt like that was it. And I'm not saying that he can't come back to the challenge, but it just, something about it just felt like that was like his last real chance to succeed. And I hope I'm wrong. I hope he come back and maybe gets a win, even if it's all stars. But I would love to see him win the flagship series, because he's just been working at his game and trying every year. And he plays the right way, maybe not socially, because socially you got to be a little bit dirty, but he's always been such an upstanding guy that you just want to see him take that victory home once. He's a family guy. He
Yeah.
only mentions his daughters 100 times every episode, so you know who he's playing for.
Yeah, yeah. I know. I don't want to not see him anymore, but it does feel like the chapter is almost closing for him, But I do agree. I would like to see him on All Stars, and I do want him to win this flagship one as well. Towards the end of the elimination, we hear TJ kind of drop this like cryptic farewell here, and he says that they're gonna travel and it will be a lot less green. What could this mean for the final? And what does this mean to you?
Man, I mean, that green could mean anything. He said a lot less, right? It could mean the location. I don't know how green Vietnam is in terms of the landscape, but maybe they go into someplace cold or someplace hot. I mean, it's already hot in Vietnam, but like desert area or something. Or green could be money, right? And me personally, I think the green is money, because we still don't know what the karma points is, right? But it's just the way the karma points has been portrayed to us, right? TJ said, your decisions can determine another challenger's share of $1 million, right? So, I mean, what if the karma points is some type of tax, right? Where, if you've treated people negatively, you can only win X amount of dollars, or, it's going to affect the prize pool, your portion that you're entitled to earn. We don't know, but that's the mystery.
That's pretty interesting. I never really thought about it like, taking tax on your money, but I was thinking more like green, like as in land. So I'm like thinking, are we going to see more blue for swimming? Are we going to see more white for snow? I mean, I've seen so many finals in the snow, just
Yeah.
thinking right off the top of my head, I'm thinking Johnny and Sarah when they go to the top of that mountain, or CT getting yelled at to keep going in that snow. Like, I'm thinking of all these finals that are just like on a
Spies,
white
lies, and
mountain.
allies, right?
Yeah,
Didn't
it's
they have
just
to
like,
hike through the snow?
yeah, and everybody, and so I'm thinking more white or blue for swimming. So I don't know, we'll see. Speaking of the final, like, I know we're like so close. We're not there yet. We're so close, but I cannot wait to find out what these karma points are. Is it going to be like taxing on your money, or is these karma points like, I don't know. I don't know. What are your thoughts on this? Like, how is this going to play out?
Well, it's peculiar, right? He said, TJ, that we don't know. Well, he said he's not going to tell us how your score affects the game, right? We're just telling you that you can rate all your challengers from 1 to 5, and 5 is the highest and 1 is the lowest, right? So, I mean, what does that mean? Is a high score a good thing, or is a low score a good thing? And most people are going to assume that obviously the low score is a bad thing and high is good, but what if they just round off the numbers or something and say, well, whichever number you average close to affects the type of handicap we're going to give you, right? So it could be some type of bonus where maybe if you get a 5, you could, for instance, get a chance to skip a puzzle. Or maybe if you get a 1, all right, well, now you have to do this whole final with extra weight on you, like a 30-pound pack or some other kind of handicap. You know, one hand's tied to your leg. Now you can't use it. You know, it could be anything, right? So I'm really curious to see what happens.
You know, me too. I cannot wait. Like, I wonder if they're gonna do like an average, like, hey, you averaged out at this karma point, like, you know, you got a max of 5 and or whatever. And like you said, is it's gonna be either a disadvantage or an advantage. And I'm really hoping that that's the case. I don't want to see these like 3-second, 30-second time penalties. Like at the end of the day, if you're good, you're good. Like that's not gonna affect it. Like you said, that the weight, like if they carry the weight, that's gonna be some
Right, like a
fire
real
challenge.
punishment, you know?
Yeah, if Jordan has to carry some weight, I mean that's where someone could overtake him. I mean, he's
Right.
strong. He's got brawn and he can run. He's got endurance, but I mean, he's got it all. He has it all. But if you start giving him some disadvantages, I mean, that's it. Well, anyway, this is our instant reaction. So we're gonna drop it off here, and we'll just say goodbye. Peace.